Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health, and coaching paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. We do that for your listening pleasure. Over 1,300 of these available for that purpose. Please feel free to reach out at PO Perception on Twitter or in the About Me section of the YouTube page. Either one will get you in touch with me or members of my team and make something happen from there. Anyway, so this is a two-part series about obsessive love. So if a person has obsessive love for you, what are some signs? Or if you're obsessed with them, what are some signs? The first is inability to focus. When you can't focus, there's usually some level of obsession going on there. The fixation of believing that a person is ultimately at any level someone you can't live without or don't want to live without can become a real big problem for some people. Now, obviously, love is a beautiful thing, it's a wonderful thing, and we all want to feel loved. However, when we are unable to function on a emotional level without access to a certain relationship, it can create a whole lot of challenges going forward. The next is depending on their approval, depending on their reaction, depending on what's good for them as a meaningful connective. And so, depending in that way, in a good way, about kind of moving forward can be problematic when we depend on on a relationship or on a singular person to determine our level of connectivity, our level of usefulness, our level of health, our level of wellness. It can be super problematic for another number of reasons. That dependency then gives that person undue emotional leverage, which ultimately they can use for their own benefit, whatever that benefit may be. The next is anger. So, obsessive love can be often very based in anger. When a person becomes obsessed with you and you don't do exactly what they think you should, they can easily kind of switch between I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, and that's where the toxic relationship pattern comes from. When a person is behaving in a way that is healthy or that is beneficial to you, you're going to love them. You're going to want to be dealing with them on a deeper level. You're going to want to be dealing with them more often. But the other side of that is when a person is in an unhealthy space, it's kind of like, hey, this isn't good. This isn't going anywhere, and I'm unhappy, and so I'm going to judge you, or I'm going to be overall very, very unhappy, and then the action creates anger when you don't get what you want. Obsessive love also causes people to act quickly. Now, acting quickly could be making decisions about a person's intentions. Acting quickly could be making decisions about how quickly the relationship moves. A healthy person and healthy relationships are going to take time to build. Some people say a few months, some people say 6 months, some people say a year. Everyone has their own trajectory, but when you become obsessed with another person or the other person has become obsessed with you, the natural cadence of how the relationship would normally unfold if you weren't in an obsessive situation will dramatically and drastically change, which obviously isn't good for anyone involved in the situation. So, when we begin to understand that true love can't happen that way in a healthy way, in other words, that it becomes unhealthy when we are kind of forcing ourselves forward, that becomes truly, truly problematic. The next thing is level of attention. A person who has obsessive tendencies always wants attention from their partner. The validation of their value as an individual comes from the idea that they are seen by their partner, heard by their partner, accepted by their partner, dealt with by their partner, and ultimately it becomes super challenging in a number of ways to kind of balance things out and get things in a healthy manner there. So ultimately that can be super problematic for a number of reasons and ultimately get a person to a level where value is lost when the relationship isn't going in a positive trajectory. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.